Hello everyone, hope you're well. Welcome to my YouTube channel. We're now on Thrinchie number 7 and I'm really enjoying these. So I've got my Thrinchie and I'm going to use the snippet stencil tweet. So I'm just going to hold this down. So we'll just take a little piece of low tack tape. I've actually got a piece on here that I've just put in a circle, and I can just put that at the back of the Thrinchie just to sort of hold that in place so that it doesn't move. And I'm then going to use the tweet stencil. You can use it whichever way you wish. And I'm just going to have that there, and I'm just going to hold that in place just so that I don't keep moving it. And also you can then lift the stencil up because it's like a hinge to see if you like what you're creating. So just lovely simple ideas. I'm going to use cracked pistachio. I'm going to use my blending brushes, and I'm holding the blending brush a bit further down just so that I can really get some colour on that blending brush, and plus my cracked pistachio is very well used. So I'm going to just apply the cracked pistachio all over my bird. So just add the layer, just a nice smooth layer, and you'll find it doesn't drag as long as you add plenty of colour to that blending brush and keep going over so that you've got a lovely blend. Let's just move that out of the way. I'm then going to take wilted violet. Now this is obviously a stronger colour, so I don't want to just cover the whole of the cracked pistachio up. I just want to make sure that this is sort of around the edges, but it still leaves some of that cracked pistachio. So now you can lift this up, just use a pair of scissors, and you've got a hinge just to see if you're happy with it. I love that. You've then also got the ink on here that you can spritz with water and then place onto another piece of card. I just love that. The Thrinchies are just so lovely, just for doing something really simple. So what I can do now is just give that a watery feel. You can leave it like this if you wish, but I'm going to add a little bit of wilted violet now. I can turn my, let's move that out of the way. I can turn my non-stick craft sheet just so that you can see. A little bit of water, and then I'm going to pick up the wilted violet, and now I can just give it a more of a watery feel, just so that it looks more coloured. Let's pick up a little bit more of that wilted violet. So I'm just going around the bird just to add a little bit more depth, if you like, just to give a little bit more of that colour. Let's just pick, and you're just adding a little bit more depth, and obviously it will oxidize because we're adding that water. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take the cracked pistachio. Mine's very pale, so we just need to rinse out a little bit of that purple. Pick up the cracked pistachio, and mine is very pale, but I'm just adding a little bit more of that colour just with the cracked pistachio. There we go. And then I'm just going to spritz lightly with water, just so that it all softens a little bit. It'll just all soften a little bit. So let's add a little bit more of that. And then I'm just going to clear up the moisture. Now, obviously, you can add these to another piece of card if you wish. You can sort of mop that up. Just remove that. Take a little bit of the water, and then I can just sort of soften the edges. Just so that that's around the edge, just so that it all comes out a little bit. And just blot your Thrinchie. Let's just give that a blot. And then what I'm going to do is place the stencil back over. Now we've softened that a little bit. There we go. And then we can add a little bit more of our colour. So we've got that sort of oxidisation underneath, but now we can add a little bit more depth of that colour. So take the cracked pistachio and just add this again, just so you've got a little bit more depth of that colour. I should have plenty of wilted violet just on there. Again, you've got that you can use to spritz on another card. Beautiful, just beautiful. So I'm then going to take I'm going to check first before I stamp anything. Just on, I keep losing my little tag. I need to clean that. I'm going to end up losing that. So I've got TE32. And then I've got this floral that I'm going to add just over the top in my black ink. Again, you can leave this how it is if you wish. I'm adding more detail just because I like adding it and I'm enjoying the Thrinchies. So I'm taking the floral from TE32, just going to ink that up. Where's the, just take a wipe. There we go. So we're just inking our floral up, and I'm inking that in the black. And then I'm just going to stamp this just wherever I wish, just so it's over the top. This is in the black, so it's obviously going to push the bird backwards. I'm just taking the floral, and this is going to appear uppermost because it's in the black. I'm just giving that a little bit of time just to absorb on there, because you've got that oxide ink, and obviously it's going to affect the black. You just need to give it a little bit of time just to absorb onto the surface. Wonderful, just wonderful. I just adore that. So then I'm going to add a little bit of text. So I'm going to take my, which one am I going to take? Just love how it looks at the moment. I'm going to take TE16, Artsy Alphas and Numbers. I'm just going to take a a little bit of that. Let's just bend this a little bit. And then just deciding what colour I'm stamping that in and whether I'm going to use the first generation or the second generation. Just grab some card, and if I take my wilted violet, just have a test to see what you want. So I've got the first generation, so I want the second generation. So I'm going to just take the ink, just remove that bit there, and then I'm going to stamp the first generation, and then I'm going to take the second generation just to add to the card. Just lovely. It's not too overpowering. So just add that. And I'm then going to take the text stamp, which is TE11. You know that I always use this. Let's move that out of the way. And then I'm going to take the cracked pistachio just to add some text. Now my cracked pistachio is quite pale, so it's not going to overpower anything. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the cracked pistachio, and I will lift this up so you can see the gentleness of the cracked pistachio, but it just adds just enough. Let's add just enough to that design. I'm just adding a little bit of that. I've also added a little bit of purple text just to go over the top of the first one. So because I want to go back to the cracked pistachio, let me show you. So I want to go back to the cracked pistachio. Just add a little bit of this here. So the text that I've added in the purple pushes the letters back. Just wonderful. Look what we've got. And we've got quite an artsy feel to that, which is just lovely. Right, let's have a look what we've got. I'm just looking now at my stamps, and I've got the word fearless here on TE10. You can just mix and match your stamps however you wish. So let's just take that, move this out of the way, and then I can take the stamp. Now always make sure you pick up the right one. I've got a habit of picking up the wrong ink pad because I've got so many ink pads on my desk. I don't think that's straight. Sort it leaning downwards. There we go. So let's try that again. Talk about being a fusspot. Bring this down. There we go. Now I don't need to press these too hard because they're just the wording. There we go. Let's place this back. Just so that you can see. And it's just beautifully layered and you get that sort of artsy feel. So let's just clean our brush, and then where's our little Inktense pencil? I'm just going to add a little bit of shading underneath, Now you don't want it too wet because you've got that oxide ink underneath there. There we go. And then I'm just going to add a few little splatters. Now, if you don't want the Fearless word to have any of your splatters on, I'm just going to cut a piece of card just so that we can cover that wording up like so, and then you won't get anything on there. But whilst I'm here, is it this one that's got the little hearts on? The actual Quirky Birds has got some tiny little hearts on here. So I'm just going to use those with the black. And just have those here. Like so. I'll just put that back in the packaging because I know what I'm like. We won't find those little hearts. And then I'm just going to use a little pencil. And then we can just draw that down from the bird. Or do I prefer that in the black? Let's grab a little black pen. That's just my micron pen. And then I'm going to add some splatters. Now I can splatter and not worry about the text having those splatters on there because I've used that little bit of card just to protect the wording. So we can remove our little circular piece of low tack tape, which I can then just save for another project if I need it and use it a couple of times. I'm just going to add a little dot of white just with my Posca pen. Just a few dots to there. You can just add little touches of white to your floral, etc. It's entirely up to you. Just add a few sort of touches of the white. I'm then going to add this. Oh, let's forget. I nearly forgot then. Our little faux black mat, or whatever you're doing with your Thrinchie. I'm doing these faux black mats. There we go. There, it just isn't dark enough. That's it. And then another one this side. And this side. Let's have a look at that. Let's add a little bit more here. There you go. You can use your ink pads or whatever you wish. But I've now got my faux black mat on there. And then when I add it to my little book, oh, I just love it. I love the Thrinchies. Just think they're so much fun. And plus, you get to use your stamps as well. Just for a little piece of art. Obviously, I'm going to carry on with my snippets and my cards as well. I really do need to bin this glue, but I refuse to. There we go. I would just add the adhesive here. There we go. can just add, oh, got a little thread there. Just add this to my little journal. Just like so. There we go. Just add that down there. So now it just looks lovely in the little book. I really love that. So I hope you've enjoyed that and you'll give that a go. I'm just going to add another little touch of white. And you know the little thing we've missed? Just add a little bit of shading just around the hearts. I don't know whether there's enough moisture in there. Let's add a little bit more moisture. Just because the little touches, just add a little bit of shading just by them hearts, just to give them a little bit of depth. And that, so you can see the cracked pistachio, is your Thrinchie finished. So I hope you enjoyed Thrinchie number 7, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.